When it comes to finding life in our solar system, many people turn their attention to Mars. This is in large part due to our current understanding of Mars once having liquid water, a key requirement for any planet to support life. Scientists now believe that 4 billion years ago, Mars had significant amounts of liquid water on its surface, potentially enough to form rivers, lakes, and even oceans. Moving into the current day, although Mars may appear to be dry on the surface, some astronomers still believe water could be trapped in the planet's crust. However, one planet that has gotten a lot less attention is Jupiter, and moving into this year, NASA has reported their first ever evidence that there is water vapor on Jupiter's Ganymede moon. Currently, scientists know Jupiter has at least 79 moons. While many people have likely never heard of it before, Jupiter's Ganymede moon is not only Jupiter's largest moon, but also the largest moon in our entire solar system. For comparison, Jupiter's Ganymede moon is larger than Mercury, Pluto, and even 2/3 the size of Mars. If it were orbiting the sun, it would most definitely be classified as a planet given its sheer size. Ganymede was first observed back in the year 1610 by Galileo, and would go on to be named after the mythological Trojan prince Ganymede. So far, there have been several space probes that have explored Ganymede, beginning with the Pioneer 10 in 1973. In using the Pioneer 10 space probe, scientists were able to use infrared measurements to first discover that Ganymede's surface was covered in ice. Moving into 1977, the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 space probes refined measurements of Ganymede's size. And lastly, in 1995, the Galileo space probe helped in discovering Ganymede's magnetic field, making it the only moon in our solar system to have a magnetic field. This magnetic field causes auroras to form near the icy moon's north and south poles, similar to Earth. Moving into 2021, a study was published by Nature Astronomy, where researchers were able to find evidence that there was in fact water vapor on Jupiter's Ganymede moon. According to NASA, the water vapor on Ganymede forms when the solid ice on the surface turns directly from solid into gas, skipping over the liquid stage in a process known as sublimation. In reviewing past images of Ganymede, researchers realized that the surface temperature varied widely throughout the day on its surface. Around midday near the equator on Ganymede's surface, it becomes warm enough that the ice surface sublimates small amounts of water molecules. Based on Ganymede's climate, researchers were able to closely match where we could expect water in the moon's atmosphere through several ultraviolet images taken by the Hubble telescope. Ganymede is covered in an icy crust, with the average temperature on its surface being minus 171 degrees Fahrenheit, which would convert to minus 113 degrees Celsius. In 1996, astronomers discovered that Ganymede had a thin oxygen atmosphere, which is far too thin to support life. However, in 2004, researchers discovered irregular lumps beneath Ganymede's surface, and now it is believed to have a liquid ocean 100 miles beneath its crust, leaving some to speculate the moon may host aquatic life below its surface. Previous evidence even suggests that the Ganymede moon holds more water than the Earth's oceans. Since the oceans are so deep below the surface, it's believed that the water vapor found would not be from evaporation of the oceans, but instead just the ice vaporizing on the surface. So how exactly did astronomers find out there was water vapor on Jupiter's Ganymede moon? Well, researchers were able to make this new discovery using NASA's 31-year-old Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble telescope was originally launched back on April 24th, 1990, after decades of research and planning. Although it's not the largest telescope, it's one of the most versatile and has become a vital research tool. By using ultraviolet images taken by the Hubble telescope, scientists were able to compare 1998 observations of Jupiter's Ganymede moon to 2018 observations, and in doing so, they found discrepancies. While this new discovery of water vapor on Jupiter's largest moon doesn't say much about Ganymede's potential for alien life, this new finding helps us better understand its atmosphere. Previously, it was only known that there were oxygen molecules present whenever charged particles eroded Ganymede's icy surface. This discovery also helps us better understand how other icy moons or planets may have watery atmospheres buried beneath them too. While it is still unclear whether these conditions would be enough to sustain life beneath the surface, with upcoming missions to Jupiter and research being done every day, we only continue to get closer to a definitive answer. Since 2016, NASA's Juno mission has been studying Jupiter and its surrounding environment, which is known as the Jovian system. And just recently, NASA has taken an even closer look at Ganymede, having recently released new close-up photos of the icy moon for the first time in 2 decades. These new findings and images by NASA also help give the European Space Agency a heads up for their upcoming mission, JUICE. The Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer is an interplanetary spacecraft that is currently planned for launch in May of 2022, with a 7.6-year cruise to Jupiter and an expected arrival in 2029. Once it has arrived, JUICE will spend 3 years exploring Jupiter and its Jupiter's 3 largest moons to better our understanding of whether life is possible on these dwarf planets, with some emphasis on the Ganymede moon. Currently, Airbus is the main company contracted to develop the spacecraft for the European Space Agency, with a total team size of more than 150 people working on the project, alongside the help of potentially 60 other companies. In total, the JUICE spacecraft will travel 600 million kilometers to get to Jupiter, and contain the largest solar arrays ever built for any interplanetary spacecraft. By circling Earth, Mars, and Venus for gravity assist to build up enough speed to reach Jupiter's orbit, JUICE will face many extreme high and low temperatures, making the challenges to develop the space probe enormous. In total, the JUICE spacecraft will make 30 observational overflights across Jupiter's 3 largest moons in its first 2.5 years. In the remaining final year, it will then orbit around Ganymede to observe the moon in much greater detail. The 3 Jupiter moons the mission will focus on are Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, all of which are covered in an icy crust and are just as large as dwarf planets. Over the next 8 years, it will be interesting to see how this mission unfolds and all the discoveries made along the way. With seemingly everyone's attention focused on SpaceX and the race to colonize Mars, it's interesting to hear other stories developing in the space industry. While there is still a lot to uncover in regards to Jupiter and all of its moons, based on the current information we know, there is still a lot of questions we can ask ourselves in regards to the possibility of there being life in places we least suspect it. With governmental space programs such as NASA and the ESA focusing on researching and learning more about our solar system, and commercial space companies such as SpaceX and Blue Origin choosing to focus on building rockets, it appears humanity is once again making a lot of progress in improving our chances of getting to space. While scientists haven't commented on the possibility of life beneath Ganymede's surface, some have gone on the record in saying that Jupiter's 4th largest moon, Europa, may be one of the best candidates for life in our solar system outside of Earth, given there is evidence of liquid water in addition to silicate mantle existing below Europa's icy surface, and water is seen as a major requirement for life. Finding liquid water is a crucial part in humanity's quest to find life or other habitable planets outside of Earth, and with these new discoveries surrounding Jupiter's largest moon, Ganymede, we continue to get closer every year. What do you think? With oceans bigger than Earth's laying deep below Ganymede's icy surface, do you think there may be aquatic life living below? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm curious to know. And as always, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos just like this every week.